Hello everybody and welcome back to another one of our 7-star raid build videos. Today we're actually building for a very cool 7-star raid that's coming very soon this upcoming weekend at the time of me recording this, and that being the 7-star Empoleon. Empoleon, of course, being the water type starter of the Sinnoh region. Very cool Pokemon, normally very good defensively being that water and steel type, but interestingly enough, they're actually opting to give it the Ice Terror type, which normally isn't good defensively and actually definitely hurts Empoleon, I'd say, making these 7-star raid builds a little bit easier to do. For this unrivaled Pokemon. Let's get right into it though. Empoleon has a very good ability in competitive there. I've torn it there just in case, like maybe, but it's definitely running competitive. Prepare for that. Competitive actually works as Defiant, except for special attack, in the sense that if you lower any of Empoleon's defense, or any of Empoleon's stats, it's special defense. So, excuse me, if you lower any of Empoleon's stats, its special attack raises by 2 stages. It gets basically a free nasty plot. So a lot of these raid builds are focused around avoiding that potential. Because obviously we can just choose not to press Acid Spray or whatever, but even moves like Flash Cannon have a small chance to lower Empoleon stats, and in case that happens, that becomes a big threat against you. So one of our builds is actually focused on making sure your teammates don't do that. We'll get to that very soon though. Again, normally Empoleon is water and steel type, so it gets a lot of those types of moves. Terra type ice, which is again a little interesting for a Pokemon that's so defensively like incredible. To give it such a horrible defensive terror type. That's all right though. Its moves that I'm definitely expecting to see are Hydro Pump, Blizzard, Snowscape, and Air Slash. I think those are going to be its main 4 moves that I'm basically sure is going to be on this Pokemon. Hydro Pump obviously being a very high base power water type move, and then of course Blizzard pairing very well with that Snowscape move. I should mention I'm very much expecting this Empoleon to set up Snow. It'll match very well with that Ice Terra type up there, and by setting up Snow, you actually, since it's Ice Terra, you'll give it a nice defense boost by 50%. So actually a lot of our builds here are special attackers to kind of avoid that, or have some other way of kind of getting around that. Air Slash, obviously a very good flying type move that's also a special attack. It's good to mention that Empoleon has a pretty a substantially higher special attack stat than its attack stat. Its attack stat's not horrible, so there's a physical move you could see on the screen there, but I'm not really expecting it to run it. Again, Air Slash is probably going to be its flying option if it is running one. I can also see it running Chilling Water and Icy Wind to lower both your speed and attack stats. I'm not 100% sure they're going to run that. I'm honestly not expecting it, but it's just up there just in case it gets the move, so it's a good idea to keep in mind that it does. Air Cutter being another interesting move. Instead of getting the flinch chance that Air Slash gets, Air Cutter actually has a heightened crit chance with a slightly lower base power, but I thought I'd throw it up there anyway. Disarming Voice would be a pretty alright coverage option for this Pokemon, being able to hit those fighting types that can take out that ice type super effectively. But again, its flying moves can do that anyway, so I'm not really expecting it either. And then again, Drill Peck and then Ice Beam in case they want to go for something a little more accurate than Blizzard. But in Snow, it's good to mention that Blizzard has an 100% accuracy, so I'm more expecting to see that paired with that Snowscape to give it that nice defense boost as well. As an ice type, Empoleon is going to be weak to fire, rock, fighting, and steel. But it is good to mention that fire and rock types aren't going to be very good here because they can get hit hard by Empoleon's Hydro Pump or other water moves. Empoleon is going to be in 7-star raids from February 1st to the 4th, and then once again on February 8th till the 11th. Make sure to build one of these builds before then, just so you're ready to take this Pokemon on. And with that being said, let's get to our builds. Our first one here is Lucario, the Fighting and Steel Pokemon. We're going to be running Terra-type Steel on this Pokemon and give it the Shell Bell held item. When we get to its moves, we're going to want to run Aura Sphere, Calm Mind, Terra Blast, and Sunny Day. Again, Terra Steel, so keep that in mind for that Terra Blast. You're going to want to give it the ability Inner Focus. Honestly, its ability doesn't matter too much, but Inner Focus is probably the best one here, especially assuming that this Empoleon might run Air Slash. When it comes to stats, you're actually going to want to invest everything into HP and everything into special attack, and for that last little bit in special defense. When it comes to nature, you're going to want to throw Modest on this thing, which is up special attack and minus attack. And when it comes to IVs, everything matters except attack. This Lucario is more focused on kind of just being a very safe option, I'll say. You can press that Sunny Day if you start to get worried about that snow for whatever reason. Make those blizzards less accurate, although probably won't throw them out there. Sunny Day is really on there for just team reasons, like if you notice your team is kind of struggling with the snow. Calm Mind's a very good setup option. Obviously, you boost your special attack by stage and your special defense, so Empoleon will be hitting less hard. And Aura Sphere is Lucario's main damage dealing move until you can get that Terra and start firing off those high base power Steel Terra Blast that are also going to be super effective. Again, you don't really need to press Sunny Day on this Lucario unless you notice your team is really struggling with the snow. So make sure to keep that in mind as you're kind of using this Lucario. You're going to be fine for the most part by yourself, but you're really there to kind of keep your team together. I wouldn't really call this a support Lucario at all, but kind of just like a safe if you need it Sunny Days on there. If you think of any other move to throw on it, go ahead. It's just on there because, he had a fourth move slot. Why not? Moving on to our next Pokemon, though, we've got Hisuian Gudra. We've seen Hisuian Gudra in raids before, or I've used it in a raid build video, I should say. This one's definitely a little different, though. You're going to want to give it the Heat Rock as the held item. Gudra is normally Steel and Dragon type. We're going to run Terra Steel. I should have mentioned that a little second ago. But again, Heat Rock, which boosts the duration of moves like Sunny Day, as you can see there. This definitely, I would call this a support Gudra, but it's also like not really. Like you're kind of still doing a lot of damage with this Gudra. There's that Sunny Day again in case you want to get rid of that snow. On this Gudra, it might be a little more useful to do that because then those blizzards won't be 100% accurate, and Gudra will take slightly more damage from those blizzards than Lucario. It'll also power up your flamethrowers there. And Terra Blast, again, once you can get to that Steel Terra, you want to start pressing that. Dragon Cheer is also a bit of an interesting move. It's kind of a new one. If you use Dragon Cheer, it powers up all you and your allies and gives them a heightened crit chance. If your if your allies are Dragon types, it's an even higher heightened crit chance. So it's kind of cool. I thought I'd run it on this since it's a new move. I kind of want to see what it does. Shell Armor protects it from critical hits. That'll be nice. If it runs Air Cutter, you won't get crit by that. If it gets a random crit, you won't get crit by that. When it comes to stats, you want to max out HP and special attack, and for that last little bit in special defense. With IVs, everything matters except attack, and you're going to run Modest Nature on this too, so that's up special attack and minus attack. Very solid Pokemon. Taking this Gudra down, especially once that sun is up and once it's terrestrialized, is going to be very difficult for this Empoleon, so I'm not really expecting to see that happen. Moving on to our next Pokemon, though, we've got a bit of an interesting one. We got Gastrodon here. Gastrodon being the water and ground type and the Terra type steel. We're going to give it the Shell Bell. Moving over to its moves, definitely a bit of an interesting moveset here. We got Terra Blast is going to be its main damage dealing move once you can get to that Terra. You got Recover for a little bit of healing just in case, and then Ancient Power and Clear Smog. Ancient Power is really where you're going to be pressing until you can get to your Terra for that low chance of that Ancient Power boost to give you a nice little Omni boost, which would be very, very nice. Clear Smog is good because on the target, it removes all stat changes, so if for whatever reason this Empoleon is running something that sets it up, you're ready for it. Or if perhaps competitive activates, if one of your teammates accidentally lowers its attack stat or whatever, you have a Clear Smog to get rid of that little attack boost, or a special attack boost, I should say, to make sure your team can kind of stick around longer. Storm Drain is also pretty useful on this because you will, not take damage from water moves, and Empoleon might not be smart enough to realize that at first. So your Gastrodon could probably live for quite a while before Empoleon starts to really do anything. And by then, you might already be at your Steel Terra. And once you're there, Empoleon can have a lot of trouble taking you down. When it comes to stats, max out HP, max out special defense, and put the last little bit in special, max out HP, max out special attack, and push that last little bit into special defense. You're going to run Modest Nature on this thing, and everything matters except attack. I feel like a broken record saying that at this point, but that is a very common theme with these Pokemon, except for this next one, which is a little bit of an interesting build. We got Iron Hands here. I'm sure everyone and their mother has an Iron Hands built for a raid. This one's going to be a little different than normal, though. As you can see there, I'm running Terra Steel on it, which is a little different, but we'll get to why that is in just a second. Moving over to its moves, you're going to run Drain Punch, Electric Terrain, Belly Drum, and Terra Blast. The reason for that is because if this thing is running a flying move like Air Slash or Drill Peck, you don't want to Terra into the fighting type, because then you lose your fighting or your flying type neutrality by dropping the electric type, and you start taking super effective damage. So we're not running Terra fighting on this. We're instead running Terra Steel. Of course, you can still lead with that Belly Drum, and if you see a few Iron Hands, press Electric Terrain and give your whole team a boost. And Drain Punch until you can get to Terra, then Terra and start pressing Terra Blast. You should be still healing quite a bit with that Shell Bell that we've locked onto this Iron Hands here. So you should still be fine. Obviously, Quark Drive and Stability, it's the only one it gets. And when it comes to stats, you're going to max out HP, max out attack, and put that last little bit in special defense. And when it comes to IVs, you're going to, everything matters except special attack. It doesn't matter what that is. And then Nature, Adamant, so minus special attack and up attack. Moving on to our next Pokemon, we've got Archaludon, a very new Pokemon. I'm very excited to get to use this guy, honestly. He's going to be Steel Dragon type with the Terra type of Steel, holding the Shell Bell once again. Very, very good right item there. When it comes to move, I thought I'd try a little bit something different with this guy. Meteor Beam is going to be its main, big damage dealing move until you Terra. But Meteor Beam's a little interesting in the sense that it's a charge-up move. When you use Meteor Beam, your first turn you won't get to attack, but your special attack will raise, and the next turn you get to attack. So getting the Terra might actually take you a while with this Pokemon, but once you get up there, you're going to be at +3 probably, assuming the Empoleon doesn't clear your stats, which will actually be really cool. And once you get there, again, you can press Terra Blast, and once you're Terra Steel, you're starting to deal super effective damage. Light Screen's also a great move on this Pokemon to stop Empoleon from dealing a bunch of damage to your team. And then again, Dragon Cheer's on there just for a little bit of fun if you see other Archaludon or some Gudras out there. When it comes to ability, you're going to put Stamina on this thing. Realistically, its ability probably won't matter too much. Stamina might have a little bit of a play, but if you have one of the other two abilities, I know one of them's Stalwart, and I think the other one's Sturdy. they might be all right, but I think stamina is probably the best option here. When it comes to EVs, you're going to want to max out HP, special attack, and put that last little bit into special defense. And everything matters except attack when it comes to IVs, and you're going to give it the modest nature. There's this Archaludon, gotta get used to saying that. It's definitely a fun little build here. I don't know how great it's going to do, so if you want something that's 100% going to work well, maybe build one of our other sets. But I'm kind of excited to use this guy, so if you're looking for a little bit of fun, maybe lock into an Archaludon. And finally, moving on to our last build here, we've got Goldengo, another very good, very common raid Pokemon. Goldengo is the Steel and Ghost type with the Terra type of Steel. You're going to want to give it that Shell Bell held item with that little bit of healing it can do. And you're going to give it a very common moveset with Make It Rain, Nasty Plot, Light Screen, and a little bit of a different one here, Charge Beam. Obviously, Nasty Plot can counter effect the effects of Make It Rain, which lowers your special attack stage. Light Screen good if your team is struggling to survive a little. And then Charge Beam is actually how I'm planning to get to Terra. Charge Beam has a low chance, or actually it's like I think 70% chance to lower or increase your special attack by a stage, which will be kind of cool. Once you get to Terra, you're already at +2, maybe 3, and you can start pressing Make It Rains. And yeah, you'll lower your special attack a bit, but your first one or first two will deal a lot of damage with those Charge Beam boosts. Again, you can press Nasty Plot if you need to. And you'll probably be on the field for quite a while if you set up Light Screen and you're getting that Shell Bell healing. Good as Gold, of course, being Goldengo's only ability. When it comes to stats, you're going to max out HP, special attack, and then put that last little bit in special defense. In IVs, everything matters except attack. And then, you guessed it, when it comes to nature, you're going to run Modest, which is up special attack and attack. With that being said, those are all our raid builds for this upcoming 7-star raid. If you liked one of them, go ahead, feel free to build it. It should all work perfectly fine against this Empoleon. I'm very much looking forward to this one. I don't think this one's going to be that hard since it does actually drop that great defensive typing for a horrible defensive typing being the Ice type. But any of these sets should help you beat this Pokemon and catch the unrivaled Empoleon so you can get that cool Mightiest Mark. So I hope to see you guys out there in those raid dens, and thank you for watching, and have a good day.